This is a YouTube exclusive from The Right Time with Bomani Jones. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, Sean, what's my man's name? The receiver from Ohio State? Apparently he's not going to run at the combine?
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. will not do any of the combine stuff.
Okay, and he said he's not going to do it at the pro day either?
He might host a pro day, but I just think he knows he's going to be a top 2 or 3 pick and is like, why would I even risk any of that?
Right, and he also does not have an agent.
That is also correct.
All right, just going to throw this out there for the people. He may not have an agent, but I assure you, he got backup. You know what I mean? Like, he's very well supported. It's probably the best way that I can put this. This is actually interesting, though, for a guy in his position. And I wonder how, like, everybody surrounding the whole combine economy feels about this. Because ultimately, he's not the fastest receiver in this draft. And from what I've been reading and checking up on, like my guy Lance Zierlein, who does a lot of work for the NFL Network, does radio in Houston, he does not have Harrison as his number one receiver. He has Malik Neighbor of LSU as his number one receiver, who, by the way, is faster. Now, people are talking about how they got the film and they can go through and chart how fast anybody is using GPS, right? Like, okay, I guess you kind of could have done that before, but whatever. But I do find this very interesting. If you know you're the number one receiver, but you know you are not the fastest receiver, why would you run? Like, why would you do it? Like, if people decide that the way they're going to handle this now is a bit more like poker, as opposed to, I need to prove this to you, I need to give you all these things, and somebody actually is like, nah, you done seen my movies, this really does kind of flip up and change everything. Because with the combine, if you are like somebody who's low in this, and then you can use that to get some attention and surge up, that's one thing. But there's never been any real benefit for the people at the top to get out here and play these reindeer games. Not once. And this is the part that I think somebody should think a little bit more about. So say you're Marvin Harrison. Say you are a receiver in this draft. Okay? So say you're a receiver in this draft, and there are things that you want to work on to become a better player in this draft. I feel like those things that you will work on to become a better player are a better use of your time than getting ready to run the 40-yard dash. Because you know what the 40-yard dash is? The 40-yard dash is the SAT. That's all it is. It is a standardized test, and if you study for the test, you will probably do well on the SAT, but how well you do on the SAT says more about how well you studied for that test than it says about anything else about you. 40-yard dash is very similar. What you're going to have is people teaching you tricks and techniques to get you down and lower that 40-yard dash time, but nobody even knows if after that you could ever run that 40-yard dash again, because all you were doing was getting ready for the test. You were studying for the test. Wouldn't your time be better spent doing stuff that makes you a better receiver as opposed to something that makes you a better sprinter over a distance of 40 yards, a skill that really doesn't actually matter? Right. So when I look at this thing that's happening with the people who are deciding that they're not going to participate in these drills, what if it leads to largely the eradication of the useless 40-yard dash, because ultimately they now got enough technology where they can find out the information that they're looking for from watching film, as opposed to putting yourself in a situation to allow somebody to okie doke you just because they prepared and they studied for that one single solitary test. This boy could be a pioneer, Sean. Hadn't thought about it that way, had you?
Yeah, do you think this might be the end of the combine? Because a lot of the other players in the top...
Oh, no. Let me tell you something. They make money off that combine now. Ain't going to be no end of nothing. Ain't going to be no end of nothing at all. They have now built an economy around this. They going to keep this going. As long as somebody show up to work out in their draws, they got a combine. It may not have all the people at the top, but some of people's favorite part about the combine is watching them dudes in their draws, and they had never heard of them before, and then they're like, "Yo, who's that dude in his draws right there?" And then they become whole new fans. The fact that they watch people get on the scale in their draws is the wildest thing. All that matters is the number. Like, why you need to actually see the motherfucker get on the scale? You know what I'm saying? Maybe you just want to see him in his draws. And you know what? Like, Different people are into different things. Like draws are not my kind of fashion, but maybe y'all be looking at that like it's a red carpet. I have absolutely no idea. But no, they gonna keep the combine going one way or another. If they got to get regular people out the crowd to get out there and run in the combine, they gonna keep it going. Before them dudes at the top, I think they're going to recognize, and it'll trickle down to everybody else or to a lot of people, you don't have to do some of those things anymore. Like the 40, I think, is the one that's going to be under the most scrutiny because it's always been a measure of controversy about how useful it was in the first place. But if you can gather that data from watching film, the top players, unless they want to try to fool somebody, don't have any incentive to do it. And then the teams will have to ask themselves, is this dude out here just trying to fool us? In which case, do we even want to waste time with the people running the 40-yard dash? See, all kinds of levels to that. And I only slipped up one time. Sean, I don't even know if you know how I slipped up that one time, but if I was you, I would tighten up. PrizePicks is the most fun you can have by winning up to 25 times your money. And with the football season over, you can still win money with basketball and hockey. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. You can pick combo projections across multiple sports from the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. PrizePicks is really simple to play. You can make your picks and submit your entry in less than 60 seconds. So make sure you go to prizepicks.com/Bomani and use code Bomani for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/Bomani. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy.